we want to continue to focus on the story and the developments of the detained American journalist Evan Gershkovich, who is appealing his arrest in Russia, according to Russian state media. The Wall Street Journal reporter is being held in prison in Russia, where they hold most espionage suspects. American detainee Paul Whelan was also held there before he was sent to a Russian penal colony. Evan faces up to 20 years in prison on these espionage charges. His parents fled the Soviet Union. His colleagues say he fell in love with Russia, with its culture, with its language. He made Moscow his second home. He also worked to hold the Kremlin accountable.
No longer is Russia fighting Ukraine, but the whole West. Nothing that might even be taken as a sign of dissent is allowed in Russia right now.
It's massively early to say Russia's, a dying power. They are worried, extremely worried about what I think everybody has seen as an increasingly erratic government in Moscow.
Well, friends and colleagues are calling, of course, for his release, as well as his family. Piotr Sauer is a Russian affairs reporter for The Guardian, and here's what he writes about Evan. Quote, he left a comfortable job at the New York Times to fulfill his longtime dream of working as a reporter in Moscow. He wanted to be on the ground, he told me later, where the action happens. And Piotr Sauer joins me now. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad because you know Evan. We just saw videos of him and we read his remarkable reporting and we know his passion for Russia. But can you just tell us about him, the man?
Yeah, I just want the world to know what kind of guy Evan is, and he is the nicest, smartest, most honest guy I've probably ever met, and it's really shocking what's going on right now with him and with his arrest.
We don't know a lot about the conditions he's under. We do know the jail he's at, which is the Lefortovo prison, and that's where Paul Whelan was held. An official at that prison described him as being cheerful and making a lot of jokes, even in these conditions. Does that sound like your friend?
That sounds exactly like Evan. He had this infectious smile. That's why he was such a good journalist as well. He made everyone feel at ease, both friends and colleagues and people he was interviewing. And yeah, it did give me some sort of, it gave a smile on my face to hear that he's cracking jokes, being himself. But of course, he should not be in jail.
Why did he want to be a journalist so much, and why did he want to be in Russia doing that journalism in this moment?
Yeah, Evan was an all-American kid. He grew up in Jersey, captained his high school soccer team. But because of his parents who were Soviet emigres, he always had this sort of fascination for Russia and for the region. So, when he got the chance, he took the job in Moscow. And, right away used his understanding of Moscow and of Russia to show the world what was going on and how the country was changing.
This morning I was reading Nicholas Danilov, who, of course, is the only other journalist before Evan. It's been since his arrest on espionage charges in 1986, right? And he was held there for so long. Here's what he writes in the Wall Street Journal this morning. Reporting in Russia has always been risky. He goes on to say, we need to protect and honor the bravery of foreign correspondents, photographers, stringers all over the world, reporting in difficult and dangerous circumstances. And to my fellow Russia correspondent, Evan Gershkovich, courage. Courage. What do you think?
Powerful words. Evan will need to have a lot of strength, a lot of courage. I know he's strong, but we need to keep on supporting him. He took the decision. He thought it was his duty to keep on reporting out of Russia to let the world know what was going on in the country. It was very important, his decision. But now I think it's our duty to really let the world know what's going on with Evan, his conditions, his case. It's a very, very important case for the world.
And when he was arrested, he was reporting in Siberia, talking to average Russians about the war in Ukraine. Did he ever talk to you about the danger? Did he feel like this was a risk for him?
No. Yeah, we talked every day. I mean, we talked 2 hours before his arrest. We just exchanged texts. And of course, it's something you talk about. Should I still be here? Is this the right place to be? But he felt, no one benefits from Russia being a black box. He needed to explain the story. He always told me, I want to get the story right. He was an accredited journalist from the foreign ministry, so he had all the right to be there. He was just doing his job,
Yeah, well, such a valuable and invaluable job, I should say, for the world and the reporting you do as well. Piotr, thank you very much for the work you do, for sharing a bit with us about your friend Evan. We are all thinking about him and hoping
you.
that they can bring him home. Thank you.